Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsin Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there as a community so we can talk about all things that we love. Today on Throwback Thursday, we're looking at Star Wars Clone Wars. Not to be confused with The Clone Wars. As I mentioned in the beginning, reviewing all my favorite sci-fi movies, I'm watching the short version of Star Wars, which would be the 2D animated version of The Clone Wars. It's a 2-hour long. The version I have right now is 2-disc. I'm sure I could have watched it on Disney Plus as one movie. I don't know. I just like watching it on disc. The actors who play Anakin, Obi-Wan, so on and so forth in the live-action Star Wars are replaced by voice actors that are really, really good at sounding exactly like the live-action actors. You have Matt Lucas playing Anakin Skywalker, James Arnold Taylor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi and various other voices, Tom Kane is Yoda, Corey Burton is Count Dooku, Nick Jamsin is Chancellor Palpatine, Richard McGonagall is General Grievous and various other voices. Oh, okay. They did get one of the live-action actors, and that is Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, Terrence T.C. Carson as Mace Windu, John DiMaggio. They got 2 actors to play General Grievous? That's really weird. I guess I'm looking at both of them? No, that's weird. And Gray Griffin as Asajj Ventress. Plays a small role in the 2D animated version, plays a much larger role in the 3D animated version. What makes the 2D one, the short version, is, well, it's more like a movie. And it does end right where Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, picks up. This one does a few things better than the 3D version. One, use of the Force. And in general, this is my favorite portrayal of the Force. It's used often and still used in ways that make sense. And it's still believable that the Clone Wars could be told 2 different ways. That's why both of them are so great. Seeing the Force used often, but still in practical ways, shows you just how fast the Clone Wars could have gone. And I think I mentioned in Attack of the Clones that Force speed is only used once in this. No, there are multiple Force wielders using Force speed in this in practical ways, and it's just very satisfying to see. Now, in some other ways, the Force is exaggerated, and that's the one problem about the Force in general. It's not really consistent through the series. Sometimes it can be extremely powerful with like a Force push or a Force jump, or sometimes it doesn't do as much. It's difficult to describe. You'd have to watch the entirety of Star Wars. It's definitely shown in this version to be more powerful than it has been in other versions, but not to an absurd degree, except for the jumping. The jumping is over exaggerated. In other stories in Star Wars, jumping, maybe you'll see the Jedi jump 50 to 100 feet from ground to up, maybe, but this one, they're shown jumping like hundreds of feet. But it doesn't take you out of it. It just adds to the impactful action. And there's one instance where I don't know if it's creating a whole new Force power or if it's simply just modifying an existing one. There is a Jedi named Master Fisto. He's on a water planet that has 2 species that are at war with each other. One is with the Republic, the other is with the Separatists. And he's fighting in the water, and one of his attacks, which is really cool, he creates a Force bubble and he throws it at a huge machine. Now, this could be just seen as a modification of Force push, not a completely different Force power. It's still really cool though. So I mentioned 2 new characters, Asajj Ventress and General Grievous. Both are introduced in the 2D animated version. Asajj Ventress does not make it to Episode 3, and General Grievous does. I'm not really spoiling anything with that. I'm setting up for my review of Episode 3. She is most certainly an interesting character. The 2D animated version has its place, and the 3D animated version has its place. What the 3D one does better is character. It certainly shows you the slow turn of Anakin Skywalker. Yes, the 2D version does do that, but it's more satisfying to see the slow turn of Anakin Skywalker than just a gradual one. I know they're supposed to mean the same thing. I'll get to it in the third when I review Revenge of the Sith. 2 other things that this one does better than the 3D one, even though I love both of them equally. This one shows Anakin going through the trials to become Jedi Knight. I don't know why they don't put any of that in the 3D animated version. It is very cool to watch Anakin go from Padawan to Jedi Knight. And another thing, General Grievous has a cough in Revenge of the Sith. He just has it. This one explains where he gets that cough, and it's really cool. Aside from the differences, the animation is really good, and the visuals they use with the animation are spectacular. There's a lot of visual storytelling in this, and I absolutely love it. It's done so well. Like, there are parts where just the clone troopers, especially in the first half of this, there's an entire mission that they're doing, and they use no dialogue. It's completely visual storytelling, and you understand exactly what's going on. It's just done masterfully. And the lightsaber battles are done spectacularly. There's one where it's Anakin versus Asajj Ventress. I like the visual storytelling they did with this, because when they're fighting and they're like a dark area, instead of just illuminating Anakin with blue and Asajj with red, they just make them blue and red. I think they did that to make it easier to follow them in the dark, because instead of just following a glow, you're actually seeing them. And it does tie into storytelling. Overall, I absolutely love the 2D animated version of the Clone Wars. If you want to watch the series the short way, this is the way to do it. Although watching the entire Clone Wars 3D version is also extremely satisfying. Those are my thoughts on Star Wars Clone Wars. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.